Mr. Fuad Mutakid is wondering about the methodology that you used. He is asking if you used documents analysis.
Our methodology which is related to my research, to my article. Well, since it's a case study design, there are many different, let's say, techniques and procedures to be taken when it comes to dealing with qualitative research. Document analysis is, of course, one of them. I didn't adopt this procedure, of course, and technique. This is based on my research objective and also based on my research
Yeah, indeed. Thank you. We have relied on this
questions.
is
Of
a
course, one of
qualitative
the,
research.
let's say, one of the limitations of this research, since it is qualitative, I think adopting, let's say, a quantitative approach and by adopting also different, let's say, techniques and procedures would yield different results as far as this study is regarded.
Yeah, it is an opportunity for other researchers to
Sure,
conduct
sure,
research using a quantitative approach or a
sure.
quantitative methods, and also researchers can use the mixed approach as well. In your research, what strategies have you identified that could enhance the training opportunities for ESP teachers or instructors?
The strategies, sorry, can you repeat the question?
What strategies have you identified, or what strategies that you found that can enhance the training opportunities?
Well, I think that it's, I mean, there is no specific strategy. Normally, all strategies should be adopted. At the end of the day, it's the I mean, it's let's say, it's to find a way. The goal is to find a way for improving this field of teaching ASP in such vocational institutes. That's my purpose. So, as I said, this is just an example. This is just a try for inviting professionals and inviting policymakers and decision makers of this of such institutes to think wisely and to think again about the way the things are done, the approaches, financial support, teachers, professional development, and all these things. This is just an invitation, as I said, to for those people to think wisely about how ASP is dealt with uh, within such vocational institutes.
Okay, thank you, Si Mohammed. How do you envision the future of ESP in Moroccan institutions?
Well, I think that ASP instruction in Moroccan vocational institutes is flourishing, and let's say the goal of and the need for adopting ESP instruction is very important and cannot be we cannot neglect the importance of let's say having English within such institutes. But as I said, there are basically different and specific challenges that are to be taken into consideration, such as I said, teachers training and teachers professional development, support materials, and all these things. It should be. But I think that no one, even teachers who are ASP instructors who are involved in the study, indicates that ASP is very important. It's very, very important uh, for for trainees, especially within this era of let's say globalization, and we would like to be our trainees to be let's say international students, not only local and national students by their language.
Thank you, Mr. Idrissi, for your all ideas you shared with us today. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Idrissi, researchers, professors, and colleagues. A warm welcome to our scientific lecture, Perceptions and Challenges of English for Specific Purposes, Instructions in Moroccan Vocational Institute. A case of study or a case study of the Office of Professional Training and Employment Promotion in Midelt. It's great to have you all with us today for exchanging ideas and exploring English for specific purposes. Instructions, instructors within vocational education landscape. We welcome our speaker, Mr. Mohamed Idrissi, who is with us with us today to enrich our discussion and provide valuable insights into the perceptions and challenges encountered in this critical area of teaching English in Morocco. First, I express my gratitude to Dr. Marwan Sakran, the director of Beit Lisaniyat Academy, Dr. Safia Kassas, the vice director, Dr. Abdelkader Bentouati, the director of the Linguistics Research and Language Planning team, for their unconditional support and efforts to facilitate and organize successful lectures within the Academy's supervision. I would like to extend my appreciation to Professor Yassin Jamal Idrissi, the Executive Director, for his unwavering support and efforts in organizing this scientific event. His dedication has been instrumental in bringing together such remarkable gatherings. Greeting also goes to researchers and attendees joining us from various platforms. We are delighted to have you here with us, and I would like to remind everyone that the attendance certificates will be awarded to all participants. Throughout the session, I encourage you to engage actively in the discussion or in the chat box by sharing your questions and comments in the live chat. We will also provide a link for attendance confirmation during the event. We need you to write your names and affiliation within the live chat. We are going to explore the perceptions and challenges faced by English for special or for specific purposes, instructions in Moroccan vocational institutions. Just introduce our speaker, who is Mr. Idrissi Mohamed, a doctoral candidate at the School of Arts and Humanities in Meknes, Morocco, where he is working on research associated with professional development of Moroccan English as a foreign language high school teachers. His work particularly highlights in-service training and its perceived impact on teaching or teachers' practices. With over 8 years of experience as a high school teacher, Mr. Idrissi is passionate about improving education and didactic to enhancing the quality of teaching training programs in Morocco. Through research and innovation, he, his commitment to the field is evident in his research and publications or contributions, including his book, Approaches to Grammar Teaching from a Moroccan AFL Context, alongside two significant articles, Bridging Technology and Language Learning, a comprehensive analysis of CALL integration within second language acquisition, and in service teachers' perceptions of the impact of applied linguistics MA programs or master programs on their professional development. Mr. Idriss's insights and expertise will enrich the discussion, and our research experience linked to the challenges faced educators or instructors, or mainly faced by English for specific purposes instructors in Moroccan vocational institutions. Welcome, Mr. Idrissi. The floor is yours.
Welcome to the Dr. Benita. Well, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. Well, first of all, I would like to thank you, Professor Benita, for as the one of the members of the organizing committee of this scientific event. I also would like to thank Professor Jamal Idrissi and Professor Abdel Fawzi for organizing this event too. Right? And thanks also for well introducing me. Thanks a lot, Nesa, for your efforts. All right. So, as you said before, my presentation and my lecture is about exploring the perceptions and challenges faced by ASP instructors, taking the OFPPT Midelt as a case study. So, as we gather at the end of the day, I really appreciate your time and attention for what I hope will be an insightful discussion on ESP for on English for specific purposes known as ASP. As we all know, that ASP plays a crucial role in equipping learners with the exact language skills they need to thrive in specialized professional and academic fields, making it one of the most important approaches to language teaching today, right? So, I want to say that whether you are a language educator or a professional using English in your career, or simply someone interested in how tailored language instruction can drive success, this presentation is designed to explore the unique features and benefits of ESP and to discuss how it differs from more general approaches to English teaching. And here I mean EGP or English for general purposes. Uh, as I said, I will start by a brief introduction. I'll give you an overview of what ASP is, definition, the emergence, the features that have led to the emergence of ASP, something like differences between and similarities between ASP and AGP. I also will be talking about uh, the characteristics of ASP pillars, challenges in ASP. At the end of the lecture, I'll be sharing with you my findings regarding my article that I conducted last month. Okay. So, beginning by the definition of ASP, according to literature, I mean literature available on ASP indicates that ASP it is a branch of English language teaching, ALT, that focuses on the teaching of English, which is tailored to the specific needs of learners, in particular professional and academic fields such as English for business, English for medicine, and also English for tourism, including the other branches of ASP. Hutchinson and Waters in 1978, they indicated that the perks, or they have shown that the perks of ASP is to equip learners with the specific language skills and the vocabulary they need to succeed in their specific context, making the learning process more relevant and efficient for the students. If you allow me, please to talk about the factors that have led to the emergence of ASP. So, according to my research, I have found that there are four factors that have led to the development of ASP and the emergence of ASP. The first one is the demand and the demands of a brave new world. This is it. The second one is the ALT revolution and the new focus on the learner. And we will see, inshallah, the characteristics of ASP, that ASP focuses on learner-centered approaches. The need for language functions and communication. This is also another very important factor which have led to the emergence of ASP. And also thanks to the development of educational psychology and the need to take the learner needs, motivations, and learning styles into consideration. So we cannot apply, we cannot adopt ESP approaches without taking these factors into consideration. Uh, Again, talking about the ESP pillars, as I have mentioned before, there are four pillars when we are talking about the ESP pillars. There are four pillars that ESP is based on when it comes to applying it from any context or any approach. So the first pillar is what do we call NA, or needs analysis. So we cannot establish an ESP approach without without analyzing the needs first of the learners. So basic needs or learning needs of the students and the learners they are very important. The second objective or the second pillar is the learning objectives. So whatever the context is, whatever the approach is when it comes to talking about ASP, learning objectives of the learners are very important. The third pillar is methods and materials. Of course, as we are going to see when it comes to discussing the similarities and differences between ASP and EGP, we are going to see that the methods and materials are different. We will discuss that the methods are similar, but the materials are different. And also as a way of providing validity and trustworthiness to the issue of ESP, testing and evaluation is of paramount importance when it comes to ESP. So to recapitulate, I would say in a four pillars in needs analysis, learning objectives, methods and materials, and testing and evaluation. Uh, Now, let's move on to talk about the ASP characteristics. According to my research, there are five characteristics of ASP. The first one is that ASP is defined to meet the needs, the specific needs of the learners. The second one is that ASP is designed for specific disciplines. So we cannot, we cannot establish and we cannot have ASP for all disciplines and for all contexts, right? Because it is a special approach. And this is what makes it different from EGP or English for general purposes. The third characteristic is that ASP is used in specific teaching situations, right? Like English for business, English for tourism, English for religion, English for other branches, of course, in fields and disciplines. The fourth one is that ASP is likely to be designed for adult learners. And this is a very important point that I would like to highlight here. So, when it comes to establishing, when it comes to adopting ASP approaches, it's, let's say, it's, it should have something like, learners should have something like basic knowledge to be built on for developing the learning needs and the learning objectives. So we cannot, we cannot establish ASP with beginner learners. And also for content specificity and relevance, the content, of course, adopted uh, for ASP approaches should be specific and it also should be relevant to the level of the learner's impact. All right, so when it comes to talking about the differences and uh, similarities between ASP and AGP, I would say here that Professor Leroux and Professor Kilward in 2016, they conducted an article in which they have talked about the differences and similarities between ASP and AGP in details. Maybe at the end of the lecture, we'll share, inshallah, with you the link of the article for those who would like to have more information and more background for the main differences between AGP and ASP. So according to the great scholars, so EGP is an educational process aimed at providing students with the general capacity to cope with and clearly defined situations. Of course, the main difference which makes ASP different from EGP is that ASP is used in specific situations and clearly defined situations, not like EGP in which we can use it with unclearly defined situations. And this is what makes it EGP, general English or not specific English. The second difference between EGP and ASP is that EGP's objectives and aims are not clearly defined in advance, whereas the objectives and goals in ASP are or must be clearly defined. Something very important to be highlighted here. The third difference is that curriculum development in EGP is based on linguistic analysis, whereas ASP learners needs are the starting points for curriculum development, which means that curriculum development is the starting point when it comes to developing ASP approaches and curriculums, not like AGP, in which curriculum development is based on linguistic analysis. The last but not least difference between AGP and ASP is that AGP has no specific context for teaching and learning, right? That's what makes it, English for general purposes, for general purposes. Whereas in ASP, having a specific context is necessary. And contexts that I'm talking here about are related to the field of teaching or the professional field for which language is being used, including, for example, English for tourism, English for business, or any other field of context. Now, if we are to talk about the similarities between EGP and ASP, so I would say that both EGP and ASP advocate CLT. At the end of the day, what is the function? What is the objective behind? Teaching and learning languages is to enable our students and learners to communicate the language effectively. That's the end. Okay. So in AGP and ASP, both advocates CLT, the communicative language teaching, which means that at the end of the story, communication is very important. That's for sure. The second similarity between ASP and AGP is that they both seek to enable learners to communicate effectively using the target language, right? And the last but not least similarity between the two is that they use the same approaches and the same concepts, especially learner-centered approaches. Basically speaking, I would say that ASP focuses a lot on learner-centered approaches instead of teacher-centered approaches, which means that taking the learner needs and motivations and learning style is the starting point for developing ESP curriculums and courses. The seventh point that I would like to discuss with you is the challenges when it comes to ASP. So, according to my research, I have found that in fact we are going to discuss three main challenges related to ASP challenges. The first one is course design, which is a very specific point. So it can be challenging to design courses that meet the specific needs of diverse learners within a profession. And this is my, and I'm sure this is my situation. This is my real challenge as an ASP instructor for who works within the OFPPT Midelt, of course. So designing courses is a challenge for not just for me, but I think it's for most of the ASP instructors who teach there. And I think this is the same case for all teachers who teach in Moroccan vocational institutes, of course. The second challenge is material availability. So most of my colleagues who are there always complain about the lack of materials. So ESP, as we all know, that ESP requires the development of tailored materials, which can be time consuming for instructors. But it's not, of course, impossible. I mean, the teachers must do their race, the instructors must do their efforts to uh, provide these materials, of course, with the help of the administration and the policy makers, and also for the decision makers. In fact, the last but not least challenge is instructor expertise. Very important point to be highlighted. I mean that teachers need knowledge not only for the English language, but also for the specialized field that they are teaching. In fact, let me give you some examples. For example, in the OFPPT Midelt, here we teach different fields which are really different from our teaching background. I mean, English for general purposes. We teach English for mechanics. We teach English for hotel industry. We teach English for business. We teach English for tourism. These fields and these uh, uh, streams are different from our teaching background, which is teaching English for general purposes, which means that teachers' expertise is very important in this regard. Uh, all right. So, Sehmed, I think, do you have any question? Or let's move on to the second part of the lecture, which is talking about I'll be giving you an overview of of the results of my article
Yeah,
that I conducted
you can
last.
you can continue until the end. Then we will
All
ask
right.
you several questions that our followers are writing in the comments.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, my article that I worked on uh, is titled Exploring AFL's Perceptions Regarding ASP Instruction in Moroccan Vocational Institutes, with a specific focus on OFPPT Midelt as a case study. So, this study is significant in the sense that the findings of this research are expected to serve the objective of understanding the role of ASP in the Moroccan Vocational Training Institutes. The study also provides a real opportunity for ASP instructors to explore and reflect upon their perceptions and challenges regarding ASP courses. Additionally, the study paves also the ground for the public authorities of such institutes and decision makers to know more about Moroccan ASP instructors' perceptions, as well as the possible obstacles they encounter in such institutes in terms of pedagogical and training needs, of course. All right, now let's move on to talk about the research problem. So I would say that despite the growing interest of the body of literature and the research on ASP teaching worldwide, little attention is paid to research specifically focused on English for specific purposes courses in Moroccan vocational training institutes, as such as OFPPT. So by exploring the perceptions and challenges of ESP instructors there. The study is concerned as valuable and important, and it also will provide important insights for reconsidering the learning process, the teaching and learning process of ASP, as well as improving the quality of and relevance of ASP courses within OFPPT. In addition to, boosting the overall vocational training experience, which will be taken into consideration. Uh, the objectives of the study is clear. So, given all the promises, the imperative need for improving the quality of ASP courses, the need for better understanding the ASP instruction, ASP instructions and for ASP instructors' perceptions, as well as the desire of providing practical solution. By the way, at the end of the day, the end of the objective of conducting this study is to provide practical solutions. This study aims at exploring the perceptions of English instructors within Moroccan vocational training institutes regarding their perceptions and also their challenges faced while dealing with ESP instruction in such institutes. Talking about vocational institutes, of course. Uh, Regarding the research questions, this study revolves around two main questions. So first, how do Moroccan ASP instructors perceive ASP instruction within vocational institutes? That's my first question. That's the first question that the study will answer. And the second question is, what are the challenges faced by ASP instructors in Moroccan vocational institutes? Of course, as I said before, that the article that I contacted, I have taken the OFPPT Midelt as a case study. So, as far as the sampling of the study, perceived sampling was adopted to ensure that participants possess not only diverse linguistic and cultural background, but also experience as well as the perspectives relevant to the subjects of the research. So, more precisely, the researcher, uh, interviewed six participants who are ASP instructors for the sake of achieving what we call data saturation. So regarding the data collection, uh, I adopted semi-structured interview for collecting data from the respondents. So interviews with closed-ended and open-ended questions were conducted with ASP instructors for gaining deep insights and also experience and also perceptions, challenges as well in teaching ASP at the OFPPT Midelt. So according to Silverman 2000, he indicates that semi-structured interviews allow the researcher to gain more flexibility while guaranteeing that the key issues of the topic are covered and being dealt with. So concerning the data analysis, so I adopted thematic analysis for analyzing my data. It was made clear that I have chosen this, let's say, uh, data analysis. Sorry, they use the thematic analysis as a data analysis procedure for identifying not only the frequent patterns and themes, but also the insights relevant to the research questions. So that's this is concerning my data analysis procedure. So at the end of the day, this is a qualitative study which employed the semi-structured interview with six participants who were selected using perceived sampling, ensuring diversity among the participants. Responses was the teacher's main objective. As the theoretical saturation was achieved thanks to the process of collecting data, I also used Vivo software uh, to analyze the data collected. And thematic analysis was conducted after that to identify the key themes and patterns emerged and serve the purpose of the study. Now, if we are to talk about the results and the discussion of the results, so regarding the first question, the findings of the study revealed that although ASP instructors view ASP instruction as highly relevant and necessary and also important for vocational students, and that ASP prepares students for specific workplace contexts by focusing on industry-related vocabulary and communication skills, they hold negative attitudes towards their ASP classes for many specific reasons. Again, ASP instructors also express that ASP aligns well with the goals of vocational training as it equips students with practical language skills they will need in their professional fields. Now, as I said before, the article tries to answer two main questions. What are the perceptions and what are the challenges faced by AFL teachers in ASP? All right. So ASP instructors highlight a gap in their own professional development, reporting that they often lack the specialized content knowledge required to teach ASP in specific fields, such as English for business and hotel industry. This could become a common challenge as ASP demands familiarity with both not only the language teaching but also the field specific terminology. Another key challenge for ASP instructors is related to the lack of appropriate teaching materials that are specifically designed for vocational training. For instance, teachers find it difficult to find or create suitable textbooks, lesson plans, activities that address both language and industry-specific skills. Uh, the last challenge that the study tries to highlight is that ASP instructors also report challenges related to varying proficiency level of students in vocational institutes. For example, ASP classes include students with different levels of English, making it hard to cater for the individual needs while addressing specific professional skills. Uh, Let me give you an example. In one of my classes, English for business, you might find, for example, someone who is a BA holder, someone with a baccalaureate degree, and someone who has never been introduced to English, although he has got his baccalaureate. Recommendations from teachers. So, teachers recommend the need for professional development. So, this is very important issue to be dealt with, and this is the message which is addressed to policymakers and decision makers at the OFPPT. So, teachers need professional development. And the second challenge is collaboration or recommendation is collaboration with experts. Teachers suggest collaborating more with industry professionals or subject matter experts to better understand the language requirements of the vocational fields they are teaching, of course. This, of course, will help teachers to design courses that go hand in hand or hand in gloves with the objectives of the teaching experience regarding ASP. Development of tailored material. Teachers emphasize the need for the development of more tailored context-specific ASP materials that can effectively address the unique needs of students in different vocational fields. Of course, the needs of every field differ from one field to another, differ from one student to another. That's why development of sales model is very necessary in this regard. At the end of the story, I would say that improvements of the curriculum was also one of the main recommendations of teachers. So teachers recommend revising the curriculum to allow for more flexible and targeted teaching that responds better to the demands of specific professions. So, as a conclusion, I would say that ESP instruction in Moroccan vocational institutes, including OFPPT Midelt, of course, plays a vital and crucial role in preparing and enabling learners for successful integration in the job market and career development. By exploring the ESP instructors' perceptions and challenges towards the way ESP courses are dealt with within such institutes, of course, we gain valuable and let's say very important insights into the dynamics of ASP instruction within within the OFPPT framework, of course. However, addressing the challenges that ASP instructors face, as such as updating the teaching and learning materials, providing trainees with the professional development opportunities that are crucial for enhancing the quality and the effectiveness of ASP courses, eventually allowing the and empowering trainees to respond effectively to the challenges that the job market demands as far as their English proficiency and soft skills are concerned. Of course. Well, this is all concerning my presentation and lecture regarding the overview of ESP and also the just I hope that I have given our dear followers a clear image and clear picture about my article that I conducted, including all the specific elements that I have gone through. Right?
Uh, Thank you. Thank you, Mohamed Idrissi, for this insightful,
You-
rational lecture. The
You're
lecture
welcome.
on, yeah, thank you. The lecture on ESP in Moroccan institutes highlights a crucial aspect of language education and the need for
Sure.
targeted instruction that aligns with learners' professional fields. The focus
Yes, fortunately, yes.
the focus on the experiences, perceptions, and challenges faced by ESP teachers reveals significant insights indeed. The negative attitudes reported by teachers indicates a pressing need for improvement in the support of, and the training provided to them. Uh, we can say that effectiveness of language instruction is often dependent on the quality of teacher trainings and support. So the training and the support that teachers get affect their teaching practices within their classrooms. The findings that
That's
you
a
shared with us, the findings that you shared with us about ESP related training shows that teachers need more opportunities for development and they have a gap because they don't get enough in-service training and they need to develop their abilities and qualifications to match the development that is within the students. And now you know we have this impact of artificial intelligence that is affecting all
sure,
learners
fortunately.
and it is invading our
And
classrooms. We face now different or digital learners that are
uh,
in classrooms. As you say, as you said, the integration of relevant language skills in, into the vocational training is the key to preparing students for real world challenges and for their future professions. Uh, thank you,
totally.
thank you, Mr. Idrissi. Thank you thanks to all followers and who interacted with us uh, within the chat box. Uh, Thank you for joining us for in this meaningful discussion. We trust that the insights shared today were valuable to you. Now, let's move to the questions that several participants shared. Let's start by a question that was shared by Mr. Ridwan Andor. He said, yes, he said that do ESP teachers at the OFPPT follow any guidelines to teach those learners, or they just teach without bearing in mind their students' needs? Do you, Mr. Idrissi?
Sorry, Ahmed.
Okay, I repeat the question of Mr. Ridwan Andor. Do you hear me now? Mr. Idrissi? Mr. Idrissi, do you hear me? Mr. Idrissi? Mr. Idrissi? Do you hear me now? Mr. Idrissi? Please activate the mic. The mic is not activated.
So,
No.
what about now? Is it okay?
Yeah, now it is okay. Now it is okay.
All right.
Do I have
So,
to
would you
repeat
repeat, please,
the
Mr. Ridwan Zilandor question?
Okay, okay,
I'm
of
sorry
course.
about this.
He is wondering about ESP teachers. Do they you follow specific guidelines, or just they are teaching English just by without any guidelines?
Well, of course, when it comes to teaching English for specific purposes regarding specific fields, such as English for business and English for hotel industry, there are specific guidelines for sure. But for many other fields, we don't have such guidelines. So this is a call for, I mean, teachers, ASP teachers, and also for policymakers and of course for decision makers to develop such curriculums to be provided for teachers when it comes to teaching ASP. Okay, that's this is regarding my answer to Ridwan's question.
Okay, okay, thank you, Tim Mohamed. We have another question that says, what challenges are the most significant for ESP teachers in Moroccan vocational institutions, and how can this be addressed effectively?
Yeah. Well, to respond to this question, I would say that the most one of the most important challenges, and according to my experience, is that most of teachers rely on their EGP, English for General Purposes training and qualifications, which is not the same case for teaching English for specific purposes. So teaching English for specific purposes, as I said before, is basically different, is mainly different from teaching English for general purposes. The two things are totally different. And one of the main differences is that EGP is based on, let's say, both teacher-centered and student-centered approaches, whereas ASP is based on student-centered approaches for developing curriculums that are to be used for teaching ASP. Another key difference is that ASP cannot be used for for all contexts and all situations, which is something very important to be highlighted. As I said, teachers' knowledge is very important about not only the language but also the teaching field that they are dealing with, including English for business, including English tourism, for hotel industry, for mechanics, for any other field which are of course of paramount importance for learners at those vocational training institutes, of course.
Thank you, Sir Mohammed. We have another question from Mohamed Haddou, who says, how can vocational school teachers transition from EGP, EGP to ESP? I think he means. How could these
Well,
teachers?
very simply, I would say yes. I would say
Yes.
that teachers' professional development is very important in this regard. So, I mean, the way EGP and the way we deal with our students in high schools and secondary schools and primary schools is different from the way we should deal with trainees. Sorry, at in such institutes. That's very important, including their age, their objectives for learning, their basic needs, their learning styles, motivations. All these things should be taken into consideration while dealing with those trainings, by the way. And the most important thing is to enable them. Look, it's to enable them to use the language successfully and communicatively in that specific professional field that they are trying to get. That's for sure. So more training is very important. Training and professional training, the professional development. Taking initiatives, research,
Yeah.
everything. So that's of course what would help teachers and ESP instructors develop their knowledge and also their professional qualifications to deal with those trainees effectively and efficiently.
Yeah, indeed, as you said, also action research can
Sure,
facilitate
sure,
this transition from the first type of teaching to a second type.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
what is the role of the new Moroccan language policy in shaping ESP programs and its impact on the teachers and students as well? Are there any impacts that the Moroccan policies have on teachers within these vocational institutions?
Well, of course, there is an impact. There is an impact, but it's limited. So, what makes it limited is the lack of professional development opportunities, lack of, let's say, lack of materials, lack of curriculum, lack of everything you need to be taken into account. So, as I said, this is a call for the policymakers and the decision makers of this field, talking about the OFPPT field and institutions to provide teachers with let's say suitable and appropriate teaching materials and teaching syllabuses and courses for let's say, and also training, appropriate training for teachers to do their job appropriately and of course if effectively. That's the point at the end of the day.
Yeah, indeed. So, Mr. Jawad Mazouzi says, what are the main challenges in designing an ESP course for a particular profession? The challenges that the
Sorry, can you
teacher
repeat?
what are the challenges that a teacher face when he or she wants to design a particular course?
All right. So to respond to my dear friend Jawad's question, I would say that the main challenge is first of all the lack of knowledge first, okay? Because designing curriculums and syllabuses, it's not only the responsibility of teachers. This is also the the responsibility of inspectors, of educationalists, of those who are all integrated within this process. Okay, and also it's also the responsibility of, as I said, policymakers and decision makers to provide teachers with the necessary opportunities and chances for doing the job perfectly. That's the question. So more training and more professional development for those ESP instructors are required for doing the job in the way it should be done.
Okay, we have another question that is asking about the methodology that you use, or Mr. Fuad is wondering about the use of document analysis. Have you used the document analysis within your research?
Mhm. Sorry, can you repeat the
Mr.
question, please?
Okay, Mr. Fuad Mutakid is wondering about the methodology that you used. He is asking if you used documents analysis.
All right, methodology which is related to my research, to my article. Well, since it's a case study design, there are many different, let's say, techniques and procedures to be taken when it comes to dealing with qualitative research. Document analysis is, of course, one of them. I didn't adopt this procedure, of course, and technique. This is based on my research objective and also based on my research
Yeah, indeed. Thank you. You have relied on this
question.
is
Of
a
course, one of
qualitative
the
research.
let's say one of the limitations of this research, since it is qualitative, I think adopting let's say a quantitative approach and by adopting also different let's say techniques and procedures would yield different results as far as this study is regarded.
Yeah, it is an opportunity for other researchers to
Sure,
conduct
sure, yes,
research using a quantitative approach or a
sure.
quantitative methods, and also researchers can use the mixed approach as well. In your research, what strategies have you identified that could enhance the training opportunities for ESP teachers or instructors?
The strategies, sorry, can you repeat the question?
What strategies have you identified, or what strategies that you found that can enhance the training opportunities?
Well, I think that it's, there is no specific strategy. Normally, all strategies should be adopted. At the end of the day, it's let's say, it's to find the way. The goal is to find a way for improving this field, the field of teaching ASP in such vocational institutes. That's my purpose. So as I said, this is just an example. This is just a try for inviting professionals and inviting policymakers and decision makers of such institutes to think wisely and to think again about the way the things are done, the approaches, financial support, teachers, professional development, and all these things. This is just an invitation, as I said, to for those people to think wisely about how ASP is dealt with uh, within such vocational institutes.
Okay, thank you, Si Mohammed. How do you envision the future of ESP in Moroccan institutions?
Well, I think that ASP instruction in Moroccan vocational institutes is flourishing, and let's say the goal of and the need for adopting ESP instruction is very important and cannot be we cannot neglect the importance of let's say having English within such institutes. But as I said, there are basically different and specific challenges that are to be taken into consideration, such as I said, teachers training and teachers profession development, support materials, and all these things. It should be. But I think that no one, even teachers who are ESP instructors who are involved in the study, indicates that ESP is very important. It's very, very important uh, for trainees, especially within this era of let's say globalization, and we would like to be our trainees to be let's say international students, not only local and national students by their language.
Thank you, Mr. Idrissi, for your all ideas you shared with us today. Your contributions have triggered several questions or insights and will have a lasting impact on teachers or instructors, practices, and researchers also. They may get ideas from your findings. On behalf of everyone, I want to convey our sincere gratitude for this enlightening and thoughtful lecture and discussion as well. Before we before the end of this lecture, any final thoughts or any final words, Mr. Idris?
Well, I would say that I have enjoyed talking and about this issue, which is part of my thesis project, by the way. I also would like to thank you, Si Ahmed Mesa, for giving me this opportunity to explore and talk and to share ideas with my some of my dear colleagues and also with the other followers. I really enjoyed talking about this issue again. And I also would like to thank the technical supervisors, Sti Jamal, Professor Jamal Idrissi, and Professor Abdelkader bin Tauti for their support and their efforts, of course. That was very interesting and let's say excellent space for discussing and joining educational different I mean different parts of different kinds of people, including educationalists, researchers, PhD students, and everybody who is interested in the teaching of English in general and learning also.
Thank you, Mr. Idrisi. Of course, this academy or Beit Lisaniyat is a house of all researchers. It is the first international house that is guiding us,
Sure.
and it is open to all researchers who want to share their findings or want to enlarge their academic network with and contact with several researchers from the Arab world or from the whole world, because there are followers from different countries. Thank you all for joining us today for this national lecture on English for specific purposes. A special thank to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Mohamed Idrissi, for sharing his findings and respected insights on this valuable topic. His contributions have notably improved our understanding of teaching English for professional purposes in Moroccan context. I would also like to extend my gratitude to everyone involved in organizing this event, mainly the Academy's board of directors and members of our technical team for their efforts. Thanks to the audience for engaging and for the engagements and questions that have been shared through the comments. We encourage We encourage you all to conduct research associated with linguistics, applied linguistics, or scientific research in general. We hope to see you, Mr. Mohamed Idrissi, in
Thank you so
our
much, Sidi
upcoming
Sahil.
event. It is an invitation to participate with us and share with us more ideas within other topics or topics that you made research on. Thank you once again,
Inshallah,
Mr. Thank
I'll
you.
be
Thank
happy,
you once
inshallah, to
again.
join you again. Thank you.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you. We hope to see you in another lecture or a conference, and we look forward to seeing you all at our next session. It will be titled the status of Tamazight in Moroccan achievements and in Morocco, achievements and challenges next Sunday, inshallah. Have a good night. Thank you.